So, Terence, how do you go about hiring your musicians? I mean, if you're hiring family members at the same time, essentially.
Yeah, it's interesting. When it comes to hiring musicians, man, I mean, there's a lot that goes involved. There's a lot that's involved in the process. In terms of, I'll always talk to the guys first. Have you heard about so and so? Have you heard him play? What do you think? Have you heard anything about him? What's going on? And I get a lot of information from my sidemen. And then sometimes we bring guys on the road. And we try them out. We don't tell them that. We just say, hey, man, I need you to fill in for this person here. I need you to fill in for that person. And we say, let's just see how it goes. Bryce Winston is a perfect example, man. I had a tenor player who was playing in the band at the time, and he could make some dates. So I was always a fan of Bryce Winston's, because I knew him from living here. And I said, well, let's try him on these gigs. And I remember we were in Sedona, Arizona, and he came on the gig, man. And we were laughing. Ed Simon, who was a pianist at the time, we were laughing because Bryce, was playing on the gig like, oh, you're going to remember me. He had this kind of attitude in his playing. He didn't say it verbally. And we did. And he was such a joy to be around and such a smart person and very inspirational person to be around. And when it came time for me to make that decision, he was the first person I called. So, I mean, it goes a lot of way, in a lot of different directions. The bassist, Derek Hodge, we were having problems with some of the bass players who were playing in the band. We had, great musicians in the group, and the bass player was the weakest chair at that time. And we just didn't see anybody around. Didn't see anybody around. And it was a drummer who had played with us before, Rodney Green. He said, look, man, you need to check on my boy, Derek. I hadn't heard of him. Just called him, just based on that recommendation. And we did a gig. Where was that gig? Well, that's where it was? I thought it was like upstate New York or something.
I think it was in the middle of the country.
Okay. And we go through this a lot. And Derek, when he played on the gig, he just fit in automatically.
Isn't that good?
I mean, and it was amazing because after the gig, I walked up to him and I said, hey, man, if you want this job, it's yours. And just because of his playing and his personality. And let me tell you something. Derek is one of the most talented guys I've ever seen play that instrument. And he's also one of the nicest people on the planet. Yeah. And that means a lot to us, man, because, when you're out on the road, you have to stick together, especially in these days and times that we're living in right now. And then B, for health reasons. We have to look out for each other because, we're out there on the road, and we have to be family. And it makes a big difference because it also comes across on the stage and it also comes across in the music that we play and perform. I mean, the band that I have right now at this particular point in my career is probably the best band I've ever had in my life, and I'm really thankful to have those guys because they inspire me to want to continue to do this.